Doesn't go there.
Ready? That's it. Imagine you or a family member lying in a hospital bed, hooked up to machines, slowly losing yourself to terminal illness. You're unable to sleep through the hourly vital checks done by staff, and you're irritable due to medication side effects. You wake up each morning knowing you can't function without the help of others. You've said your goodbyes, death is inevitable, it's just a matter of when. Now imagine having the choice to choose when you die after doctors have given you no chance of survival, surrounded by those you love and comfortable. Would you take advantage of this? Physician-assisted suicide gives patients the option to end their suffering and should be legal in all 50 states. Today I'm going to discuss why patients should have the right to choose death, guidelines, and current statistics regarding physician-assisted suicide. The American Medical Association defines physician-assisted suicide as when a physician facilitates a patient's death by providing the necessary means and information to enable the patient to perform the life-ending act, such as providing a lethal dose of medication. Nicole Smith posted an article titled "The Positive Aspects of Physician-Assisted Suicide" and explains it should be recognized that patients have a right to make their own decision to preserve free choice and human dignity. This right includes the right to choose a physician-assisted suicide. Having access to this allows patients to maintain control of their situation and to end life in an ethical and merciful manner. It gives them the choice to have the upper hand, an option to take control. The medical field personnel hold the responsibility to help patients as much as possible. And if there is no possibility for recovery, it should be their duty to end pain and suffering by honoring the patient's request to end their trouble if it's available in their state of residence. The decision on the legalization of physician-assisted suicide has been left to be determined on a state-by-state basis. An article posted on the Views of Assisted Suicide and Euthanasia by Joanne Wolfe explains a variety of studies have been done and shows that 90% or 60% of the general public and patients find physician-assisted suicide ethical in certain circumstances. Oregon, Vermont, Washington, and Montana have legalized assisted suicide via legislation. Statistics provided by the State-by-State Guide to Physician-Assisted Suicide, published by procon.org. Legislation has set strict guidelines for patient eligibility requests and physician protocol. Individuals must have a terminal illness as well as a prognosis of 6 months or less to live. Other patient eligibility requirements are being of 18 years of age or older, resident of the state, capable of making and communicating healthcare decisions for themselves. Physicians must be licensed in the same state as the patient. The diagnosis must be certified by a consulting physician who also certifies that the patient is mentally competent. The physician must also inform the patient of alternatives, and they must request that the patient notify their next of kin of the prescription request. Patients must first make an oral request to their physician, and then there is a 15-day waiting period. The second oral request is followed by a written request to their doctor, and then a 48-hour waiting period before picking up medications. The medications are just picked up at their pharmacy. In October of 1997, Oregon's Death with Dignity Act became a law. CNN News featured Brittany Maynard, who was a 29-year-old with terminal brain cancer. Married for a year and trying to start her own family, she decided to make the move to Oregon to take advantage of this law. In April of 2014, Maynard learned her tumors were back and more aggressive when she was given a prognosis of 6 months to live. After learning more about the side effects of full brain radiation, she knew her quality of life would be gone. The hair on her scalp would have been singed off, and she would be left covered with first-degree burns. There were not treatments to save her life, and the recommended ones would have destroyed the time she had left. Even though the cancer was eating her mind, her body was young and healthy, and she was likely to physically hang on for a while. Her family would have had to watch her suffer in hospice care for weeks or even months. Brittany met the criteria for death with dignity, but she needed to obtain residency in the state of Oregon, which required many changes. She needed to find a new team of doctors, establish residency in Portland, look for a new home, get a new driver's license, change her registration, and her husband Dan had to take a leave of absence from his job. Brittany had the medication for weeks without consuming it. In an interview done with CNN, she noted, "I'm not suicidal. If I were, I would have consumed the medication a long time ago. I don't want to die, but I am, and I want to die on my own terms." She states that having the choice has become incredibly important. "It has given me a sense of peace during a terrible time that would have otherwise been dominated by fear, uncertainty, and pain." Because of this law, Brittany was able to move forward in her remaining days or weeks she had left, to seek joy and love and to spend time traveling to outdoor wonders with the people she loves. She had a plan of when she wanted to die, where, and with whom by her side, which gave her a great sense of peace. Who has the right to deny patients this option, or to tell patients they deserve to suffer for weeks or months in tremendous amounts of physical and emotional pain? What purpose would it serve to suffer endlessly until you lose yourself? Envision spending the last 6 months of your life losing control of basic functions and your family having to witness it. Physician-assisted suicide has become a very controversial issue, but there are no compelling reasons to criminalize it, provided all guidelines are followed. The legalization of physician-assisted suicide would support those like Brittany Maynard who want to enjoy their final days with those they love. So then show the audience thing.
Okay.